he was obviously very highly thought of. The games he played, I saw him in, I think, the Youth Cup, and very comfortable on the ball, tall, like everything you would sort of be looking at for a young centre half at that time. Obviously went away. He's got some really good experience. I think he was part of that Cambridge team that got promoted, wasn't he, with Mark Bonner that year. He was at Gillingham as well and did quite well. So quite a bit of experience, quite obviously tasted success. And like you say, a local lad. And I think it would be great to get someone like that into the squad. Wouldn't it be great if he came in, broke in the side and was a Tranmere player for the next sort of 4 or 5 years and could even captain the club down the line? Obviously, you touch on the injuries last year, and that is a question mark. Obviously, we've got to look at Nigel with his background, the medical team, assess that and make a judgment on it. Because it doesn't, just because they've had a couple of injuries, it doesn't always mean that's going to continue. I mean, Paul Glatzel's gone into Swindon and seems over the worst of his injuries, and they've got a hell of a player now. So I think we're probably doing the smart thing, get him in on trial, train for a bit, give him some games. And I think it's a very obvious addition. It's a young player who's got his best years ahead of him as a centre half. I think he can play centre mid as well. I think he played a few games there. So again, another player who can cover you in different positions. Tall player. Could even give you an option to flip to a back three as well. If you think of Tom Davis in the middle, him on the right, Turnbull on the left, that wouldn't be the worst back three I've ever seen. So I think it would probably be a good move for all parties. He might feel that he wants some guaranteed game time. That might be the one sticking point, but maybe coming off the season he's had with the injuries, he'd be looking just to move back home and an opportunity to challenge our centre halves for that spot as well.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens from that front, but they do need a centre half in, don't they? That's the point. There needs to be someone who can be back up to Turnbull and to Davis. We know that each of them have missed chunks of last season through either injury or suspension. Tranmere can't possibly go into the season with the squad that they have now defensively. Yes, Norman might be able to slot in there for the odd game, or Walker might be able to slot in there for the odd game, but they've got to have at least one more centre half through, and he would tick the boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we don't know what market we're shopping in. Could we go and get like a Sam Finley signing? Could we go and acquire that type of centre half who could come in and possibly displace one of the two we've got now? I mean, that might be the dream scenario. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'd be someone like Drysdale and maybe one other. I think would solidify that back four. But like you say, Walker's filled in there. I think he played centre back for Vale a couple of times. We obviously saw him slot in there at Wrexham. So yeah, we definitely need strength in that area. I mean, it was something I said last year. Yes, we won games and the defensive stats weren't too bad on paper, but being a stato, you dig into some of those stats and you look at expected goals against, and we were, I think, third bottom from open play, which when you then think through games and you think how many great saves Luke McGee's made, how many last-ditch blocks you've seen Tom Davis or Lee O'Connor and that make, that would point to we need to improve that defence. Now, that can be via personnel, that can be via how we're organised and defend as a team as well. But there does need to be improvements and reinforcements in that area for sure.